What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Spectator Mode Podcast. But this one's a very special one because we're talking about the recent January 2024 Xbox Developer Direct, which took place, a couple hours ago? We're now recording this at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the snow.
Sometime today it took place.
If you hear this tomorrow, hopefully you're nice and warm and you're not stuck in the snow like some of us will be. And as always,
I was. I was surprised that you didn't say the whole. You got to say the whole thing of Tribe Called Quest, But
did you see the edit on the last podcast I did?
I did. I was well perfect. I was on time. I told you in Discord. I respected it because that was exactly my mood. I was like, "What is this? Whose man is this? Who?" But yeah,
and
man.
We got my buddy Scott.
I just have rain now.
You have just rain and probably dry throat.
Oh man! So we're gonna try and get through this podcast. I'm still under the weather, not buried, but my cough won't go away. But let's talk about this Xbox Direct, Matt. I'll let you kick it off there since you're not a fan. You're not a fan.
I'm not even saying I'm not a fan. It's just that there are some people were saying this was the greatest. It was a great show. I want to say at least 60% of them are multi-platform games. Okay, so we'll see. Decide this was a very middling show. It was a good for them to have something that they're gonna have for upcoming quarter. They have to have something out now with if you've seen our video of the upcoming games coming out for RPGs for this month, you notice that very few of them are Microsoft. So Microsoft's got to have something. But I
don't want to talk about that. I mean, the whole Xbox RPG thing has been a gaping hole in the side of Xbox for quite some time.
Yeah, you people.
Dark Souls is an RPG.
No, it's not. It
is.
It's a false skill game. It's a game of false skill.
Don't start that. Don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me. You see me play.
All right. I'll say the truth. It's a game that you play that you tell yourself you're good at, but everyone knew you cheated at. Okay, let's just go.
I do not cheat, sir.
Sure. 90% of people play Dark Souls cheat in some way. We all know.
Well, they suck. Then they should stop cheating.
Well, that's the only way they can play the game.
Well, don't play it then.
Exactly, but you know how it is. But no, I am there isn't really much to say. There's a couple of games that I knew were going to get those multi-platform anyway. Vicious of Mana, that's multi-platform. We can get Avowed looks really interesting by Obsidian, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that looks for people who still have that CRPG itch, that Baldur's Gate itch. That looks fun.
But okay, let's stop right there. I'm gonna stop you right there because I am with you 100% on that. I saw that in the back of my head. I want. Everybody's still playing Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know about this game right now. I love Obsidian. They do some great work, but the world is still very much smitten with Baldur's Gate 3.
It's going to be that way for a while. That game has so much content. My brother and I
battle for Avowed.
Yeah. My brother and I found out this rare Adamant ring that you can get in Act 1 that give you +1 armor. So it's insane. It's good stuff. But anywho, it's to me, I think it's good that it exists in CRPG space. I can see people playing it very post-launch, as well as depending on price point and discounts. I'm sorry, very few games can get away with full price at the door. There's this one company called Saga Games and Mad Lads with this amazing action RPG coming out sometime next month. And that's full price, right? But everyone else, you're not getting full price. I'm just kidding. But all serious, Avowed looks excellent. Obsidian is to me one of the very the good people who make good Western RPGs. Obviously, I'm looking forward to see more events, more gameplay of this. It's up my alley, but it definitely scratches that itch. If you liked, Baldur's Gate 3, you could play this, as well as it's also the modernization of CRPGs. I want to say if you played games like Divinity 2 upwards, all CRPGs be going that route. Is that fair? That's what I say? RPG man, Scott.
Why don't we still call it CRPGs?
Usually they call them. Well, there's a lot of variations of why.
Exactly.
There's a lot of variations.
Confusing when you have to look at all the different genres of everything's an RPG, but they want to have added things to help people clarify what kind of RPGs they are. And CRPGs are famously for computer RPGs because this is mainly computer type games.
Right, as well as the high character customization element, etc. And you know how JRPGs to some people was, some people feel it was a nice thing to say, but we live with it now, right? But yeah, it's mostly the high customization and like the strategies you came up with it. But
yeah, I'm really actually excited
to say anymore.
That Avowed had so much to show of their game, because a lot of the times that we've seen Avowed trailers, it's been like one little like snippet of gameplay and then like cinematics. Whereas this trailer, we got a lot of gameplay. We got a lot of like the systems they are imbuing into the game. We also got a lot of just how they see like the animations of characters and how it's going to be in the actual in-game engine that they're using. So I really do appreciate that what like the deep dive they took with Avowed here. I don't think we get nearly as much from these types of trailers usually when it comes to just like, here's a small snippet of what's to come, whereas the developer direct, at least for Avowed, gave us a lot of just, this is the in-game systems that it's going to be using. This is how interactions work. This is how combat functions. This is how this works. So they did a really good deep dive and just explaining the game. And I think they did a really good job.
They needed that win. They needed that win for that, because this game was announced a while back, and people every time there's like an Xbox Direct or something, they're like, "Where's this game at?
Where's Avowed? Where's Avowed?"
Well, the thing is that the biggest mistake they made was, oh my god, you're Xbox, you're an RPG in Xbox, that was a mistake. But unjokingly aside, it's like it felt like the people that were charged for marketing for it or publishing it put this on the back burner for too long. I'm glad they're doing this for this. I think Obsidian makes banger games, though. To this day, I still stand by this. Pillars of Eternity 1 is BS hard. Like, harder than Baldur's Gate 3 hard. I legit had to re-roll entire, like, playthroughs from, like, hardcore stuff because my character died, because I realized, oh, snap, I moved one stat the wrong way. My wisdom was too low. Get critical KO'd. Anyhow, thank God Pillars of Eternity 2 is a bit better. But
before we get off of Avowed, I really want to say I'd really like the look at the combat. That's obviously something that's different compared to like Baldur's Gate 3. So I'm actually looking forward to that and seeing how exactly that all plays out. It's a refreshing change of pace, and I really want to play that.
No, it's nice. It's an Obsidian game. I don't.
But it reminds me of Skyrim. I hate to say that, but it reminds me of Skyrim in that time. The combat anyway.
Skyrim was a good game, though.
It is a good game, but it's just everywhere and just.
Everybody wants to be the next Skyrim, but this might actually be a more interesting of that kind of genre, just because Obsidian is very unique in how they develop their systems, and they utilize a lot of similar things as other like developers when it comes to those in like the Western RPG spaces, but they do a lot more innovative technology when it comes to choice, precision, and how things work in terms of the narrative as well. So that's why I'm really excited to see how they're going to implement the Skyrim type combat into Avowed alongside Obsidian's usual MO of having a really good narrative and choice and world that they're in.
Yeah, the thing is that it's moving. Like, I feel like that's another thing too. Is like, so one of the things that I feel like can bridge the gap between people who liked games like, Mass Effect and Dragon Age and people who like Baldur's Gate is changing the combat and dynamic system, because it's like, for people who like Baldur's Gate and who are smart enough to figure out how to break that game, I'm looking at this guy right here, pointing himself. You can like plan out your entire like way of combat versus like active participation with games such as Mass Effect 2 and 3, Mass Effect 1's story, and like Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age 2. So it's like, if you bridge that gap of like adding the fun narrative aspects to make it more action-y for people who might give it a try, that's a good direction to go. I mean, it worked well for their previous game, The Outer Worlds, I believe. So that worked out for them. So
I did not play that.
Of course you didn't.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going crazy. I did play
Outer Worlds is a good one.
Outer Worlds is a good one.
If you didn't like Starfield, you like Outer Wilds. If you didn't like Outer Wilds, you'd like Starfield. Is kind of
basically
how that works.
Exactly. No, 100%. And I don't recommend anyone playing Starfield. There's better games that exist.
Oh, let's move on to the next title. Thank you.
All right, next. Excuse me for having taste and a backbone. All right.
No. I don't want to spend 1 hour on one game when I want to take my ass to bed.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay, the next title, I don't have too much to say with Hellblade. It seems like they're just going to be... So the next title is Hellblade II, Senua's Sacrifice, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was not impressed by that as much.
Yeah, or Senua's Saga. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm unimpressed. It's just that they didn't really show the game they showed how they made the game. They showed ninja theories like behind the scenes. They showed a lot of how they were doing sound, how they were incorporating like people talking, and how they were doing like mocap. But the actual game, what they showed was very light. They showed some small snippet of like walking gameplay and like a small parry, but the rest of it was just discussion behind the scenes. And so
it was...
I mean, it's probably going to be good. They did say that it was going to be around the same size and same scope as the first one, just with better visuals and more innovative technology. But otherwise, it's just going to be like Hellblade 1, but better.
Right. That's why I wasn't impressed when they said that. I wasn't impressed. It looked like, oh, this is just like kind of what they did the first time, which is slightly better over, shoulder action camera. I'm like, all right. I mean, if the game is just as short as the first one, sure. I mean, it's nice to have a high quality short game. Those work too, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's like, all right, this game is $20, and I'm sorry. We live in inflation. $25. I'm like, all right, this is not a bad spend for $25 for the same amount of stuff.
Kudos. They're not trying to sell this as a $70 game. It's going to be $49.99. But then we also have the problem of this is going to be an only digital title.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yep.
Let's not get on that train.
This isn't what we're here for. That's just
I don't mind being on that train for obvious reasons, but
it's not one of those, it's not a good feeling. I like sometimes I do mean this unironically. The best thing to say is game will be released. Wink, wink. Is it digital only? Well, you say digital for now, and then you get some company like, I don't know. I don't know if they're still in their heat. Limited run games make a physical copy.
Oh, they're still around.
They're still under heat. Like, because I know that they got some really not good press lately. I've been seeing from reviewers, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm
not impressed with them. I won't buy from them again.
Okay. Because, like I said, I don't really buy physical. I don't really buy physical games from like those people. I just buy from like if the publisher made a physical version of the game.
Yeah, we should have a podcast about digital games, but not right now. I don't have a problem with this game. I don't really have much to say about this game. I really do wish we saw some other game. But again, this was a developer's dive into stuff. So basically, we're going to see more about the developers talking about the game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The problem I see with this game is, and it's kind of along the side of the Xbox fanboys, Xbox faithfuls going, hey, look, we got ourselves here's my air quotations, a God of War type game. It's like, no, this is not like God of War at all. This is not what this is. Don't do that.
The sad part is like they sent themselves with disappointment, as they always do. But it's like Hellblade is a decent narrative game. The first one was, and the second one's like it's a good take on it, but it's not a God of War game. God of War is a game that is crafted with the intense research and ability to craft a chef's kiss video game. Hellblade is a well-made grilled cheese. God of War is steak monacella with mushrooms, asparagus, and chef first potato. That is what God of War is. No, that is true. No, don't even try to front me on that. Is that true? Like God of War versus Hellblade.
No, I was making fun of your accent. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But oh god. And speaking of comparing things to a huge failure, so apparently people were comparing something. I'm just kidding. I was joking. People were comparing Visions of Mana to Yeast. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. But unironically, we saw the development behind Visions of Mana, and it seems like they went with a whole new team of people. Like it's just fresh off the boat.
Yeah, it looks like they have a younger group of developers, but they also have like two who are like older in the space who are like the directors and the producer. So it's nice that they have at least like a guiding hand of the older generation. But yeah, most of the actual developers, like the ones who actually like doing the digging into the code, are all younger, which is actually a pretty interesting thing to do when you're trying to, I guess, not really necessarily get your old IP back into the eyes of people, but kind of just do a reboot in a way.
Right. I was deeply impressed by the game. Like I was saying to you guys, like, wow, this is like, yeah, Scott knows it. This looks and has elements of like Yeast games that I play a lot of. Yeah. Like wow, like are they really learning from the competition? This is really good stuff. Like this is because like to me, like if ARPGs come very slenderly slim, but the good ARPG, like the most consistent ARPG series is Yeast and this other guy called Yeast. but Geese. So, and to me, the greatest Geese game is because I'm a grandpa. Is like Geese Origins. I think it's yeah. So it's like the fact they took a lot of like mechanics and look at ideology from like that. It's like it's really good at putting it into their game, which is great because the Of Mana series is like from Legend. Like I like Legend of Mana. Children of Mana is okay. Trials of Mana, the remastered one that's available, you can pick up on any platform, is a good game. There are elements of it which they took away, but it seems like they're going towards having more fluid, consistent combat. Though yeah, I wish I had multiplayer, but yeah.
That would be great. But yeah, it looks like they're definitely gearing towards making a fluid combat experience, which honestly I think is going to help in regards of at least having people who want to play. And I think it's also going to help with this younger staff as they probably are trying to get into at least more action-based combat programming.
Yeah, because it seems like it to try to make more action RPG games, like from the remakes of 7 to 16 to Visions of Mana. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's successful for them. They can try more because I like to live in a world where Square makes both turn-based and good action RPGs. Because a lot of the action RPGs that they had before, like 16, I like were just kind of clunky or gimmicky.
16 was a test. All 16 was a test.
Well, 16 is good. I mean, it had that guy. I mean, it had the guy from Devil May Cry 5 on it. I mean, come on, that guy makes good video games. So don't even call it a test. It was successful.
15 and 16 were basically tests.
15 was a game that I should never recommend to anyone alive.
15 was a development disaster as they kept having to keep going back and redoing things in the engine.
Exactly. 15 took how long? It was like supposed to be how many times, and they kept going back, and they learned, and they gave us 16.
Yeah, the lesson is like make sure you have a dog leash on Nomura, anything he does for the rest of his life, because he will go off the rails every chance he could. That is not like a haha. That is like the truth. Like I love Nomura. I think he's a great developer. I think he has some cool ideas. But my God, please watch what he's doing. He walks out that door. You're not getting him back.
He's very ambitious.
No, he is. He literally is. I just think that he should be kept on a leash because you get some weird stuff when he doesn't work that way. Like you get masterpieces like Kingdom Hearts 2, and then you'll get Final Fantasy 15. Trust me. Keep this man on a leash. Oh man.
All right. We had after that was
Aura Fortunes Untold was the next one.
Be honest, I
it's
went to sleep on this one.
It's like a civilization type game, strategy simulation, where you are basically trying to compete with everybody else on the board to make the most consistent, economically stable country in some way, shape, or fashion.
It seems like this one around has put a lot of effort into procedural resources and energy things, so every playthrough feels consistently better, which is the thing that makes Civ's game fun. So I'm looking forward to like when people play this game to like make up challenges or post cool ideas on the social webs of how they beaten it. Like I've beaten this game with only like one currency. Watch me conquer the rest of the world one currency. Watch me beat the world through art or something. Become cultural. And the diversity of leaders and certification is good. Again, it's a Civ X game, but these guys put a lot of effort into the procedural and creating custom efforts to have like different playabilities, which is good for Civ games. I'm just hoping that the community that plays Civ games like this will have, like, I would say, all right, I don't know if they confirm multiplayer, but they have multiplayer. It's going to be red. It's going to be you have people playing for 12 hours multiplayer madness.
Yeah, any game like this that has multiplayer is already going to be guaranteeing a lot of replayability just with that alone.
Yeah, so it depends on that much they provide.
I'm not that much of in a simulation. I have played like Crusader Kings back. I'm excited to see where this can go, and it definitely looks like it'd be something that those people who are in like the simulation and strategy type games are going to be excited for. And it definitely seems like they really are good at curating their game towards their community. And so I hope that they continuously be able to do that, because I'm sure that once like everything gets accomplished and finished the way they want it, it's gonna sell like hotcakes to those, I guess, demographic of fans. You got the final game.
Final game was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I did confirm this, Scott. The voice that was Troy Baker.
It is Troy Baker.
I told you it was Troy Baker.
Look, I couldn't believe it was Troy Baker because last time I met Troy Baker, he said this as a joke at a panel that yes, I did voice everyone, but Ellie's a girl. Yes, I did voice everyone. That man has a good sense of humor, but yeah, he's an excellent voice actor. Honestly, top choice. So Indiana Jones, they spent a lot of time like, oh man, we're really fans of Indiana Jones. I get it. Everyone like, come on, it's Indiana Jones, right? It's not the Indiana point-and-click adventure game, so that's going to be a little heartbreaking for the all 12 of us out there.
You're waiting on a sequel to that game. You're still waiting.
Yeah, you're still waiting. Yeah, it's Jover, as they would say. But I think that like, so one of the complaints I kind of have for the game is that they like Todd Howard putting his name bright bold in front, like, oh man, Faith. All right, Faith lost already. Let's go. So one of the things like upset, like I would say upset about like the game is like, okay, so I'll have them emphasize that you are Indiana Jones rather than playing Indiana Jones. Okay. Here's some deeper philosophy stuff for you guys. When you make a game or do anything, like read a book or have a choose your adventure kind of thing, if you're doing any of that and you say you are that person, you are telling people they have agency and the ability to make decisions for that person to any way you want to play. That's what games like Baldur's Gate, Divinity 2, hopefully Avowed will have a lot of fun because you can go from being a nice guy to a straight up sociopath. If that's the playthrough you want, you can go do it. The problem is you're playing with a defined character, Indiana Jones. The language you should be saying is you play as. But the problem is they try to focus on you being him, but putting the game in first person, which first person Indiana Jones game doesn't seem cool. I'd rather have it in a third person action game.
Action oriented individual. He's a lot more in terms of, you'd say, of a runner.
Right. Or a puzzle man. And
yeah, he does a lot with puzzles. He does a lot with like running from stuff. And he does a lot of stuff with like hiding. He's not exactly the most with action oriented. He can fight.
Have you not seen him jumping from tanks and cars and stuff?
As I said, he can jump. That's not action.
I mean, come on, Keith. I mean,
he can do parkour. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, like Keith, come on. You've seen the movie White Men Can't Jump. Come on, man. You know this sort of fact. Come on, you've seen the movie.
Which one?
The first one, the good one. Come on, man.
I mean, he did jump at the end.
That doesn't count. His homie pumped his shoes for him. You saw that.
And so, I'm not going to say I'm going to write it off entirely because it's first person.
No.
But I would at least like to have at least the option of maybe having a third person perspective on it, especially because they actually did really good on the model they got for making Harrison Ford. Like, he looks just like him. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's insanely good. Like, graphically, it's up there. Another decision I'm scratching my head about is, I think you said it said it nicely, Scott, is that this could be the reason why they went in first person is because they're trying to sell it as a VR, get the double bucket,
I mean, if this was VR, it would be great, but they're not going to do VR. That's the problem. I want to be Indiana Jones. Let me actually be him. Give me the headset.
Right, with the headset and punching your way through it. But no, I just feel like that's just most of my complaint. It's first person, the language they choose, and them.
So Dirk's just slim.
There is a chance.
There's a chance that or if it doesn't happen because it's already a first person perspective, somebody will make a mod to do it. It wouldn't be the first game that somebody has done that.
But yeah, I think the game is cool. It looks. Hopefully, it's a short-filled adventure. I'm honestly hoping that Todd Howard doesn't get too much Todd Howardness in it, and that's about it. It's an Indiana Jones game. It's under 20 hours.
Yeah, how much? 20 hours would probably be.
No, that's fine. When you say short, I'm thinking 5 hours.
You're thinking Hellblade.
You're thinking Hellblade. You're thinking Hellblade. Yeah, you're thinking Hellblade.
10 to 12 hours.
Yeah, like I said, on 20s, like 20s, all right. Doesn't seem like there's much to it. Like, we have combat, we have elements of platforming, maybe some puzzling, which, in my opinion, they should focus more on the puzzle and platformer part, so it could be more in line. That's just my opinion, But because it's like I feel like if this game took more of the formula from everyone's favorite, because it's like Uncharted kind of made that formula, the treasure hunter, work really well for the modern era. Plus or minus guns, how you feel about gunplay.
I mean, it would be interesting to incorporate that formula with Indiana Jones, just because they would have had to also implement
Don't forget the romancing. Indiana Jones.
The romancing, romance. Yeah. He's got to get his dames. You know how he is.
Got to go the Bond route.
Yeah.
I think Indiana Jones has more suave than Bond. That's just me. You didn't
Which
have the fancy
depends-
cars and
depends-
guns and
Yeah,
whatnot.
it depends on the Bond.
Depends on the Bond. Honestly, it depends on the Bond. It depends.
I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones. I have been since I've seen his first movie, but I also like the fact that they had the music. The music, the theme for Indiana Jones was on point, especially when he was punching the Nazi and he was like, I was like, yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah, and
Reasons to buy this game: punching Nazis. We didn't get told who was actually doing the score of the game.
Nope.
They just said they were doing it.
But
It would be nice if
but
he's
it
doing
does
it.
sound at least very esque like John Williams. So
Right.
I think they did a good job in capturing that essence, whoever they got for the music.
Yeah.
And if it isn't him, you need to go get him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Todd is the type of guy that shares top building with anybody. You know how he is. But no, unironically, like I said, the production seems okay. They got all the we're Indiana Jones. Okay, I get it. How the rest of it's going, all right? You got the sound, you got the voice, you got the da-da-da. All right, what else are you doing? Because it's like I to replicate, like you're Bethesda, right? You're a rich. What's your gameplay going to be like?
Well, I'm not too terribly concerned about this in terms of, because it's machine games and they are pretty spot on with their stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, the thing is just wait and see. It's like, to me, it's like the trailer was okay. They spent, like I said, most of the trailers. I'm like, oh, hey, we're Indiana Joe fans, just like you. Look at all the cool stuff. Look, hey, we did the monkey swap. Todd did the monkey swap. See, we did all. I'm like, bro, come on, look, it's a basic Indiana Jones stuff. What are you doing? Look, we're lore accurate. We're between these movies. I don't care. You're acting like there's lore in Indiana Jones, bro. Get out of here with that. It doesn't matter anymore. Okay,
there is lore. I could have did.
There is no consistent lore. Crystal Skull exists. Enough said. Boom. All right. So
yeah, that was a mistake. That's just
so there we go. Lore, like don't talk about there's lore, okay? No.
They tried so hard to replace everything in Crystal Skull from the last.
On a very serious note, though, it's like, I think that they've done a good job representing and having the medium for the game. I'm more worried about the gameplay and gameplay decisions they made, because to me, sounding like an Indiana Jones game, having the music is just the minimum to me. That's the bare minimum. If you don't have that, then what's the point? You need to have other things besides that, because you're going to sell this game to people who aren't Indiana Jones fans. That's the goal.
And there you go. And there's the bullet point right there. If you weren't a fan of Indiana Jones, or if you did not know of Indiana Jones, you wouldn't have cared. But because we all know it's Indiana Jones, there are certain things that we demand be there.
Demand. You mean the minimum. You mean the minimum. The minimum. That's just the minimum, though. Even if you weren't, that's just the minimum. So it's like,
like just like the mannerisms. Like when we play this game, this guy has to act like Indiana Jones.
Yep.
I mean, they got Troy Baker.
That's enough. I don't expect you to walk into a bar or whatnot and start throwing bowls but that's not what Dr. Jones does.
I wouldn't really call him a doctor, but
all around,
he does have a degree.
He has a degree, but he's like there. I mean, there's another guy I know, a young John Cena is a doctor of thugonomics, and just saying, there's a lot of people throwing the doctor thing around, and I don't know.
Dr. Jones.
No, but in all seriousness, it's like it has the core of it, it has the basics. What else does the game have besides the juice? And that's about it. And I think that this game wants to sell to build that. They're going to have to focus on gameplay and hopefully have a third person option. And that's about it, because it's like first person doesn't seem that way. And then like I explain my philosophy that if you're going to say a game that you are like you are this person, that means you have agency. And do you really want to take away the agency from Indiana Jones? You want to take away from him kissing the dame? Like, oh my God, you see me, Jones? Give me a kiss. No, baby, I got to do my taxes.
They can always handle that with a cinematic. I mean, going back again, Skyrim at the first person game, first person perspective game, it can work.
The thing about Skyrim is that it has, again, my agency. The thing is, like, that's how you do it. The weirdest part about it is that, like, Todd and his team keep saying that, and I'm like, bro, you can focus on, like, other things. Like, this is a weird, like, fetishization you got going on, choosing on that just particular thing. No, but honestly, though, like, overall, though, this Xbox and the Dev Direct, I give it a solid, like, B. It wasn't bad. It wasn't super good. It was better than the last one, which was like a C+ or a C-. Let's like check.
No, I gave it a B. I gave it about a B+. It wasn't bad. I wanted more, but for what we knew what we were getting, I mean, they told us, hey, we're not getting any shadow drops. Don't expect anything other than what we've already told you is coming. It wasn't bad. It didn't overstay its first visit, so yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's a B. It was. I mean, to me, that's like but it's a B. Nothing too wild. Nothing out there. They felt the game that should have been talked about more. I feel like should have been Avowed. I mean, Visions of Mana doesn't need the help. I mean, they're on every console. But Avowed, people should be talking more about that. But there were some people focusing on only Indiana Jones because they don't play video games, and then you have people like putting Hellblade on a pedestal, which is like, holy dude, please don't. This is not a game that is going to survive A, the scrutiny, and B, there are two different experiences. And that's, well, some people are just stupid or unironically bad faith stupid. I talked about that, and I hate them both. Mostly bad faith stupidity. But it's like,
I agree with going with the B on this.
I thought you could give it a real grade. I give this game where's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink out of 5? Where is it?
It's not coming to Xbox yet.
It's not an Xbox.
They should put that on Xbox so we can get some crossplay going as well. Please do that.
Yes, please.
I hope not. I hope Cygames do the pettiest thing and give you the game like 10 months later with no patch and then say good luck. Honestly, real talk, don't do that to developers. With that said, that wraps up all about final takes of the Xbox game show, Deb. Decent show. There's only 2 games I'm looking forward to, which is just Avowed and Visions of Mana, and that's it. Indiana Jones I'm 50-50 on, but it depends. Like I said, they said Todd Howard's name on it. I'm like, oh man, I'm scared already.
Matt's like, I don't like this guy. Could you just not? I mean, you could show us the most perfect game ever.
Actually, you're incorrect on that. He has let me down on many of his design choices, and to me, to have lost faith in him is actually incredibly reasonable.
You didn't let me finish, dude. You didn't let me finish. I was like, you could have the most perfect game out there, and the second somebody goes, and Todd Howard's attached, Matt go, what? I'm done.
The worst part about that is that, to be for real, if a perfect game exists and Todd Howard sounds like an oxymoron, but come on, man. Yeah, exactly. Think about like perfect game and whoa. That's too much for me. Because at that point, like, yo, there's something off about this. First person, let's get out of here. Oh god. Honestly, man. Oh god. I do honestly hope that he's less on the wheels of this, and then Machine has more say than he does. That's it.
I would really hope so.
No, that's just my opinion. Todd Howard, like he has some ideas that are good, but when he's on the pedestal gas, things don't go well sometimes. Like they're like to this day, people still argue like if Oblivion was better than if Oblivion was better than Skyrim, and it's like there are some fair takes to say about it, but holy, it's like a 10-hour argument out of people.
There's a lot of breakdowns when it comes to Elder Scrolls games. So
yeah, there is, and it's like holy. But I definitely can't say his involvement in the last project he made was probably not the best decision. And it wasn't. I'm not talking about Indiana Jones.
I'm speaking off mute like a moron because I'm coughing like a crazy man.
I know. You're dying. Yeah, I know. You're dying because of the terrible weather. But honestly, though, it's getting late. I hope you guys stay warm if you're on the East Coast. Hope you're doing well. Be sure to follow us on all our social medias, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you're on YouTube. Podcasts everywhere it should be, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple, all the podcasts are, can be found at, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.